Hi.
Hello everyone, welcome back again here to the living room. Here on this channel you will find weekly videos for workout for beginner and medium fit with minimal to no equipment. And this is also the subject of our workout today. We are going to work out with something that everyone has at home, I guarantee, and this is just you. Now, as you can see, I have also a towel here, so we will need a towel for two of the exercises. And if you are not good with jumping, you might need a chair or something just to hold on, but you can also use a wall. But that's it. Basically, all the exercises can be done without any equipment. And yeah, I will see you for the warm-up. I hope you have fun. Enjoy!
Okay, so as you know already, the warm-up is just, like I said, without equipment, and you just follow me here. We are going to do a warm-up today which repeats again and again and again, and which will take altogether for 8 minutes. So first of all, you stand straight, and then you come into a high plank. Try to have your back long and straight, and then you come with your right foot next to your right hand and with your left foot next to your left hand. Then the right foot comes front and in between your hands, like this, and then you try to come down onto the stomach. So you can either just flop on the stomach or try to make it a push-up where your elbows go back. Then you turn on your back and you lie on your back. This is like your mini break for 1 second. You come up into a standing, this you can do as you want, and then you step out with one foot to the right and one foot to the left. Come back into the center, come with your hands onto the ground, walk with your hands to the front and follow with your feet. So this all is one repetition, but now you might think, oh god, this is so much, but as you can see, we are doing exactly the same thing again and again and again, and I guarantee you, at the end of these 8 minutes, you know what to do. So foot goes in between your knees, nice push-ups, good. Then you turn onto your back, you lie down for 1 second, you come up into a standing, and now you step with one foot outside, touch the ground, one foot outside, touch the ground, and then you come with your hands up, you walk with your hands forward into a high plank, and then your feet go forward to your hands. Now, since you are now professional in this movement, you can start to go a little bit faster, but never skip the quality of your movement. So you always want to have a nice form. So if you have the feeling, my back is not straight anymore, or you can't really control the movement, so you start skipping steps or so, then go a little bit slower and focus again. So outside, outside, standing at the end of the mat, hands come forward, and now your feet follow to the front to your hands. And then you keep going again, feet down, and then back, and in between you come into a nice plank, and then one foot comes to the front, one foot comes to the front, go front and down, and then turn onto your back, lie down, enjoy this like 1 second mini break, and then come up, and now as quickly as possible touch the right and touch the left space next to your foot, come to the end of the mat, bend your knees, come into a high plank, and feet walk forward to hands. So again and again and again, hands come up, hands go back and down, feet go back, one foot comes forward next to your hand, the other foot comes forward, and then one leg comes inside and the other leg comes inside. We try to make these planks here as nice as possible. So you want to really go down slowly and do not drop your hip. Try to keep your hip and your upper body in one line. This is how you work your core muscles. And then again here, now this time we come into the plank by the hands walking forward and not the feet stepping back. So this is the little variation here, yeah. And as I said in the beginning, I'm sure now you know what to do, because it is always the same thing. This is the nice thing about a warm-up like this. It basically has all the parts that you want in a warm-up. You have a bit of cardio, you have a bit of stretching, you have a bit of nervous system warm-up. And you don't need anything. You don't even need space. You can even do it in the tiniest of hotels. You just need this little space in front of your bed, between the bed and the wall, or the bed and the bathroom, whatever, however big your room is, and you can do like a full body workout there. So you can just set the timer as we did here. I set the timer on 8 minutes and then I just repeated. I didn't even know from the beginning how many repetitions we are going to do, because this is what the clock does for me. It just counts down, and when it beeps it starts, and when it beeps I stop. Very simple. Of course, you can put a different focus in each warm-up, so you can say you start for 2 exercises very slow, and then you get a bit faster as you go in order to have a little bit more cardio workout. Or you say, no, I don't want to focus on the cardio, but I want to focus on really doing the movements as good as I can, and holding the movements also a little bit longer. So then you could do this. You could stay in the plank for like 3 seconds. You could really bring the foot forward, maybe not put it on the ground. So you are free to kind of experiment there also a bit. But yeah, hopping side, hopping left, coming to the end of the mat, coming with the hands up, and then stepping with the feet forward and coming back. And I can tell you already, we did already 6 minutes, so we have only 2 more minutes to go. So there is an end in sight to all this craziness. So if you want to maybe start working now on your cardio, then forget what I am doing here and just start to speed up your movement and go as quickly as possible. Or if you say, no, I want to work a little bit on strength more, then start to kind of hold the positions a little bit longer. Make sure when you go down into the push-up that your arms are really close to your upper body, that they don't go right and left outside, and you really go all the way down to the ground. And otherwise, foot in, then you come down in a nice push-up, a reverse push-up that is. You lie on your back and you enjoy this break. It gets more and more and more important the more we repeat this movement. And then you hop right, hop left, come to the end of the mat so that your hands can walk forward now. Come into a nice plank, and then your feet go forward to your hands, and then you come back and up, and we started our last minute. So, last minute does not necessarily mean it is the last movement, round of movements, depending on how fast you are, but it means it is only 60 seconds more to go. So, turn on your back and then come all the way up. The coming up, you can do it like in a Turkish get-up kind of way, or you just come up however it feels good for you. And then bending and walking with your hands to the front, and then your feet go forward to your hands, and you come back and up again. So, and then we have just a little bit longer, and going all the way down, and then turning. I focused here in the last round, I focused on holding the movements a little bit longer. You see even the lying on the back, I held this position a little bit longer. And then stepping outside to the right, stepping outside to the left, and coming back to the mat, and then forward into a high plank, and coming back, and keep going. We will manage one more round, so stepping back, stepping front, keep going, all the way down then on the ground, foot comes in, and then turn on your back. I'm so glad that I could turn off the sound here for this workout, because the sounds I did when I came down into the push-up was always not so flattering. And then last time, hands to the front, and then feet follow. And then here we are. I just try to kind of really use the last seconds for one more time up, one more time down. But here we are at the end. So, finish now. So, and now we come to our exercises. So I will, here we have them, all the names and everything. I will show you the exercises now, but I would advise you to kind of go through the exercises with me so you don't lose your warm-up momentum. So first one is a Spider-Man, and I show you different variations here. So you come first into a high plank, and then your right knee comes to your left elbow, and your left knee comes to your left elbow. So this is a little bit the same what we just did, but here we kind of isolate this movement because it is so nice for the stomach muscles. Now, if you want this movement a little bit easier, you can put your feet on the ground like this. You always want to make sure that your spine is straight though. Or if you say, no, planking on the ground is not my thing, then you use a chair or something high, a table, and you just come with your knees forward. You can even bend your arms here a little bit, but the most important thing is that your back is straight. So now next one, we come to variations with jumping. So this is what we need the towel for. Thank God mine had fish on it, so I could really pretend it's a river. So we put the towel on the ground and you just hop over the towel. Yeah, you can either hop like this with both feet at the same time, or you can just make a step like this, or you can kind of skip over the river. So this is up to you. You can also pick in every round a different variation. The next one, we stay today in the animal kingdom. We have beetle variations. So beetle exercises, very often done in groups. Make sure that you really keep your lower back on the ground and your stomach in. This is super important for this exercise. And then the goal is to stretch right hand, left leg at the same time. But you don't want to allow your stomach to come up or your lower back to kind of round. This is like the most important goal in this exercise. Everything stays down and you only stretch your legs as much as you can with your stomach in. You don't want to arch the back as I am showing here. So you want to really keep the back all the way down on the floor. This is how you protect your spine. So the next one is a little bit more simple. It focuses on cardio. We stand, have one leg in the front, one leg in the back, and then the hands come up and down, and we squat giant flies on the knee. So we do one round, one leg, and then the second round, the other leg. If you are not so sure with the balancing on one leg, we go with holding onto something. So here you can use again the chair and then focus on the speed and on keeping your standing knee in one line with your foot. So now we have the dog walk. So today is really Animal Kingdom Day here. And here you just want to walk forward, right hand, left leg. And then at the end of the mat, you walk back or you just keep walking forward till time is up. If you say, no, too complicated, you bring the knees onto the ground and you just walk like this. Even like this, you get the activation of the core muscles because they have to work against gravity. So this is really up to you. So now, next one is again the jumping, but this time on one leg, because the other one worked so well. We take again our river and we put it on the floor. Now, because we have one leg, it might be a good idea to fold the towel, because hopping on one leg is very much different from hopping on two legs. So over the river hopping, landing and balancing. This is very important. Very often you see people, they hop because they want to avoid this standing and balancing. So we of course don't do this. So you really want to stand and balance. You can then, if you don't think this is challenging enough, you can just hop back. So you don't turn around, but you balance and then whoop, you hop back and you balance. You challenge your coordination system here a bit. Or if you say, nope, this hopping is not for me, again, here comes the chair. Holding on, bump, and hop over, and then turn around and holding on, bump, hop over. Finish. Next one, no animal this time. We have squatting, hip goes up and down. This one looks so easy, but it is so freaking difficult. You grab your ankles, and then the only goal is that you bring your hip up and down. So you don't want to also have the knees all the way together, but the knees kind of stand for themselves in one line with your ankle. And then, yeah, all you do is you squat down and you come up, or if you're not that flexible, you put your hands on your thighs and you go up and down. Okay, now from the animals we move to athletes and you go into skating movement. So you stand sideways or facing me, and then you want to cross your leg. Now what I'm showing you here is how it's not supposed to look. So my knee is rotating all the way inside. You should look down over your front knee and it should be in one line with your foot. Only if you manage this, you can start to kind of work on your speed. The hand on the same side comes to the front and the leg on the same side goes backwards. And so start very slowly, and only when knee and ankle are in one line, you start focusing on speed. So here we have them again, all our movements, the Spiderman, the jumping, all our animals, and then the squat, hip up and down. You know already how we are planning to do this. You have like a 45-second exercise period and then a 20-second break. We repeat 8 exercises, then we have a 40-second break and we do 2 more rounds. If you don't have that much time, you just finish after 1 round. Enjoy. The first one is the Spiderman start in a plank. And here is the bell, off we go. So, you start in a high plank. Remember what we said in the beginning, you want to be hip and upper body in one line. This is like the important part in this exercise. And then your knee comes forward. How you are planning to bring the knee forward is your decision. So either you put the foot on the ground or you keep the foot up here. You can even bend your arms a little bit in order to have like a push-up and to activate the upper body a bit more. But make sure your stomach stays in towards your spine. And then you come forward, right and left, little bit longer. Now this time I don't need to count down because I found this new cool feature here on Apple, so that it counts down for us, and khalas. So 1 down, 7 to go. The next one is our jumping variation, so please go and find your river. So put your towel on the floor and either make it very wide or make it very narrow, and or get your chair and then get ready to go. 3, 2, 1. And off we go. Jumping over the river, landing softly. Really make sure your knees point forward and they should not kind of lean on one another. Not every leg works for itself. And you can also jump backwards. You can, if you have the feeling, yup, you are mastering this exercise brilliantly, you can start to work on the speed. So you go hop, hop, front, front, back, front, back, front, back. And you will find that it really, really helps if you put something on the floor that you can jump over. And go and keep jumping a little bit longer here and landing softly, upper body straight, leaning a bit forward, and really don't make too much noise when you come down. And then again, here's our clock, a little bit more and finish. So second exercise is done and we move to the animals and we have our Beetle variation. So in preparation for this exercise, lie down on the floor. Very good preparation always. Then come with your legs up, have your stomach in, and remember to have the back flat on the ground and the stomach in, and off we go. Right hand and left leg stretch. Now, although this is part of Animal Kingdom as well, do not do the camel movement. So camel movement would be stretching right hand and right leg. We are not camels, so you want to stretch right hand and left leg all the time. And remember, I mentioned this already before, that this exercise very often is done in groups, and there people always feel like they need to stretch as much as their neighbors do. And then you can see the back is coming up and everything is rounding, and then you don't reach the muscles anymore that you actually want to reach with this exercise. So really be a little bit picky here. There's no one there. You need to kind of fight here in the stretching of the legs, and then we are done. So, moving on to one of my most preferred movements, I have to say, which is the fast knee. So, standing, having one foot in the front, one foot in the back, and come with your hands straight up. Make sure your front knee stays when you bend and stretch it in one line with the rest of your with the ankle. So, go. And then go swat giant flies and really try to kill as many flies as possible. So go as quickly as you can. Keep your upper body straight in front, and then have your knee that you are standing on, so in my case here it's the left knee, bending and stretching, and it really just goes to the front and to the back, but it does not go right and left. Very, very important. When you have these knees that go right and left, then please, 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 please put the speed down. Don't call it fast knee anymore, but call it knee. And then make sure that the knee is pointing forward. You can also use a mirror. If you have a mirror in your room, stand in front of the mirror and check this out. And then we are done. We will do the other leg in the second round. So the right leg we do then in the second round. And now we have again the dog. So again, in preparation of this movement, go on your fours. And make sure your belly button kind of pulls a little bit up towards your spine. 3, 2, 1, and then we start. So I walk here now only up and down on the mat, but of course, I mean, it's your flat, it's your room, it's your house, so you can walk as much as you want. Just make sure that after 20 seconds you turn around and come back, so that you are here when the bell rings and you don't have to do extracurricular activities here. So walking front, walking back, and like we said in the beginning, you can also have the knees on the ground, no problem here. Just make sure that the dog does not turn into a camel and moves right hand and right leg at the same time. You always want the opposite in order to activate your core muscles in a functional way. So, and here we are at the end, 3 more seconds, and break. Okay, and back, time to install the river again. So since it is a one leg jumping, remember it is also a good idea to kind of fold the towel in half and then go for the jumping like this. Yeah, towel on the floor, hold on to the chair if you need to, and let's go. Always very, very important to do exercises with one leg only, because you always have one stronger side and one little bit weaker side. So in my case here, I use the right leg, by the way. In the second round, we will do the left leg. And the weaker leg is always kind of leaning onto the stronger leg. So it's always saying, Yella, you do a little bit more here of all this work. I'm not so strong, so we need to share. So it's always a good idea to force the weaker leg to work as well, so that you don't let this imbalance get like too much. And hopping, take your time. Remember, you want to always stand and balance. You don't want to skip the balancing. And we are at the end. So now, I picked this movement from somewhere else. I stole it actually, and I saw it in the video, and I thought, this is easy, yalla, let's do it. It turned out to be much more difficult than I had intended. But anyway, we are going to get through this now. So stand, grab your ankles, and then the hip comes up and down. So you will discover here that legs usually are quite long, arms are quite short, hips are quite heavy, and yeah, this whole up and down thing, gravity seems to kind of play tricks on you here. So anyway, just keep your hip up and down, keep pushing up and down. Remember, it's Christmas soon, so we need to start building some muscles so that we can burn some calories after. So enjoy this kind of uncomfortable feeling here, because it's really nice for the hamstrings, and we have otherwise so much work for the quadriceps in front and all the hip flexors, so that the hamstrings can also get a little share there. So, and then we reach here the end and take a mini break. And here we are for our last exercise of this first round, our ice skater. So remember, you want to have your front knee in one line with your front ankle, most important thing. And then right hand and right leg kind of stretch in opposite directions. And then, of course, the same thing with the left side. Go! So put on a heavy ice skater face, so kind of really see the end of the track that you have to skate, and then start skating. You can use, if you're using a mat, you can kind of use your mat to see how far you can go right and left. So really to kind of jump from one side to the other, cover the whole space here, stretch the hand to the front, push the hip to the back. The back leg can cross as much as possible, but of course the front knee stays in one line with your ankle, with your front ankle, of course. And then go a bit more, skate a little bit longer, and we have our last 3 seconds, and then we are done here. So, 1 round down, 2 to go. If you leave us here, then thank you for joining, and I hope to see you in the next workout on this channel. Otherwise, take a break, get some water, use your towel, maybe what towels in workouts are intended for. And otherwise, here we have your exercises again, so that you can kind of focus on them again. This is what we are going to do. And the first one is the Spider-Man. So, just get ready, come down if you want on your fours already, or stay standing. And then remember, what is important in the Spider-Man is that your hip does not drop. You want your hip and your upper body one long straight line. And let's go. So, standing again, and then hip comes down in one line, and you want to touch with your right elbow, with your right knee, your right elbow, yes. And keep going. If you did before maybe a little push up with the arms, maybe now you try to focus on a bit more speed, so you try to go as quickly as possible. Otherwise, if you're using the chair, step with your feet very much back so that you have a nice plank that has a nice angle and you are not kind of too steep there, because then the movement with the legs is a little bit difficult. So keep going, forward, forward, forward. We are almost done here, so this is the last 3 seconds. And then we catch again our breath for 20 seconds. And while you do this, you get ready and put the river in position. So towel goes onto the floor. And then you stand. You remember here with the jumping, you don't want your knees to kind of touch together, and you want to land very, very, very softly. So 3, 2, 1, and then we go. So landing very softly, going front, going back. If you want, jump backwards also. So do not turn around, but just jump back, jump front, jump back, jump front. You can also, if you want to put a little variation here, you can kind of bend the knees more, so you jump more from a squat. Then you activate the legs more and the whole thing gets a bit more challenging. Or you try to jump very high, so you imagine it's not only a river, but it's also a wall, and you have to jump high up over this river wall mixture. So then we have the last 5 seconds, so see how many jumps you can do here in these 5 seconds. And then we did our second exercise in the second circle, which is always nice. So, moving on to Animal Kingdom, Beetle Variations, and I will repeat myself again and again and again and again. Stomach in, lower back onto the floor. So important. So hands come up, knees are bent, feet are off the ground. Right hand, left leg, start stretching all the way down. Stomach is in, lower back is on the floor. You decide how far you want to stretch. Make also sure, I see this a lot, that people stretch the feet towards the ceiling instead of down. No, the feet are not supposed to go towards the ceiling, but they are supposed to kind of push away from you. You could imagine you are lying on the leg press in the gym and you want to push this metal plate away from you so that you claim all the space on this machine. The hand stretches also back, so you want to get at least as long as your mat here. And a little bit longer, and then the beetle is done as well. So, now fast knee again. So we had before, we were standing on the left leg, so now we stand on the right leg here. So you want to get ready. Remember to push the hip all the way back, and your upper body is coming all the way to the front. And then the hands stretch up to the ceiling and go. And go taka 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 up and down as quickly as possible. And keep going, keep squatting, and land with the leg softly. The front knee bends in one line with the ankle, and you try to go as fast as you can, and you try to not round your back, also very important. So your back stays long and straight. You could take your head a little bit more up than I have mine here, so that your spine is like in one long straight line. Head is in one line with the rib cage, and rib cage is in one line with the hip. And then you lean this long line to the front, and then you start touching the knee here with your hands. And 2, 1, and then next one is the dog walking. So in preparation for the exercise, you go down on your fours on your mat, and you decide if you want to bring your knees up or if you want to keep your knees on the ground. And then we get ready, steady, and go, and walking front and back. And you can, for example, if you say, yes, I understood what this movement is all about, you can go and walk really quickly. Just see you don't mess up the right hand, left leg coordination here. And walk really quickly and try to keep the back straight, so don't turn this whole dog walking into a downward dog from the yoga. So it's not a downward dog that decided to walk, it is actually really a dog that is walking here. So the hip should stay as much down as possible, and then the right hand and left leg are coming forward, and then turn around and come walking back to us, because here we are at the end. And now again we put the river in position, so you want to fold your towel and then start jumping on one leg. Okay, so get ready to jump, and we want to stand this time on the left leg and jump over the river. So left leg jumping, and off we go. So jumping now, for most of us who are right-handed, this leg will be a little bit more challenging, especially the landing, and you might also feel that yeah, it's more heavy to come up, because as I said before, no, one leg always likes to lean onto the other, and this is what you find out with these kind of exercises. So in our next circle we will maybe practice a one-armed handstand, just in order to find out which arm is stronger and which arm is a bit weaker. Yeah, this was a joke, please don't sign off now. And otherwise just keep jumping here over the river, front and back, and then last 3 seconds and break again, and we come for our famous squat, and the hips go up and down. So here again both legs can work at the same time, and they should work at the same time. So go stand with your feet hip wide outside. Make sure your knees do not touch in the center, but that they stay over your ankles, and go. Hip comes up and down. So stretch your hip as much up to the ceiling as you can. Bend your knees as much as possible. Remember, if this movement proves to be too challenging, put your hands onto your thighs and push the hip up and down from there, or maybe put the hands onto the knee if you had them before on the thighs, to just kind of see if maybe now with all the movement you are more flexible, so it is easier to go all the way down. And keep going, and push the hip really up, and then go really all the way down. Keep holding your ankles so that you really put yourself in this position where the hamstrings have to work more. Okay, and then come back. So next one is an ice skater again, so stand facing me. And then remember to get ready to stretch the right hand to the front and the right leg to the back, and the back leg crosses as much as possible, and the front leg stays in one line with the front ankle. 3, 2, 1, and off you go. Go skate. So hop and hop and hop and hop. Since you know now what is coming, you can maybe go from the beginning on a little bit faster. So going and really stretch the hand to the front and feel your opponents behind you, and try to claim as much of the racetrack as possible so that they cannot overtake you, and keep going from one end to the mat to the other, and feel how your skates are scratching the ice there. We live in a desert country, so we enjoy these images of ice and scratching and cold and so, and a little bit longer, and then we are done. Second round done. We have one more round to go, so this is my favorite round always, because we know we don't have to do this stuff again. So if you are leaving us here, then again, bye bye, see you next week. If you stay on for the third round, then good for you. And get some water, get your towel, and then we have a last time Spiderman Variations. Like I said, it's not going to come again, so we can really enjoy this movement here now. And you know also now how it's working, so you can really focus either on the push-ups or on the speed. And then let's go. 3, 2, 1, and off you go. Okay, so now, after 3 times Spider-Man or 2 times Spider-Man, there is not much to say here anymore. What would be new for you, because you are now Spider-Man experts. You are basically Spider-Man. You're not just doing a Spider-Man exercise. So, but still the same rules apply. Stomach is in, hip and upper body are in one long straight line. you bring your right knee to the right elbow, you bring your left knee to your left elbow, you step with your feet always back, and you always run down in your mental checklist, is my hip still down, is my hip and my upper body, are they still in one line, so that I get my core muscles working to the maximum. So then last 3 seconds, and then it is goodbye Spider-Man. So last time jumping with 2 feet, so put your towel again on the floor and then stand on one side of the river, and then you want to hop over the river or grab your chair again, get your chair back. All this pushing front and back of the chair is an exercise by itself. 3, 2, 1, and then you want to go. So last time jumping, so either immediately jump backwards, don't turn around, or jump and turn quickly. And remember to always make as little sound as possible on the floor. So you don't want to bang down here into your feet, you want to really land softly like a cat. So, because here today the animals are king, so we want to land really, really, really silent. And I know it's the floor, it's the shoes, everything, but still try to work with all these bad conditions and land softly. So, and now last 3 seconds of jumping, and then it is bye-bye jumping. So, preparation for the next movement, lying on your back and gazing at the stars, or most probably at the ceiling, and then getting ready for Beetle. Ready for the Beetle Variations. So you remember, lower back on the ground, stomach is in, and then your feet come up, and you want to go right and left down, hands stretch, opposite hand, opposite leg stretch. So head also kind of pushes away from you. Your spine, your neck is also long. Your chin is not touching your chest. And then remember, the feet are also pushing away. You want to make space for yourself. So the leg is not going up to the ceiling, but it is going away, away, away. And the stomach stays in, and the lower back stays on the ground. We should count in this video how much I said this, but you cannot say it enough. So, and keep going. And we have a little bit more, and then we are here at the last 5 seconds, and it is bye-bye Beetle. So, fast knee variations. Now, we will kind of change halfway. So you can pick any leg you want. So it sounds like you have a lot of legs to choose from, but we go either right or left, I would suggest. And then you take, let's say, the right leg to the back, and the left leg is your standing leg, and then we go. And I tell you, like, after 22.5 seconds to change knees. So go as quickly as you can, because you know this exercise is only 22.5 seconds long, and then you will change legs, so you can really try to challenge your knee and your arms here a bit. And then it is time to change, and change legs and go fast, up and down, good, and keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And then we have the last 3 seconds, and you are done here with the fast knee as well. And we go for the dog walking variations, which means you can go down onto the floor. You want to move right hand, left leg at the same time, or have the knees on the ground, but still then it is right hand, left leg. Pull your belly button a little bit towards your spine, and then get going. So again, it's your house, your rules, so walk wherever you want to go to. It's also a nice way to kind of see the house, the room, the flat from a totally different perspective, and get a little bit a better idea where more cleaning needs to be done, or what things are really in the way. So it's always nice to change not your vision, but your point of view. So, and then keep going front and back. And keep walking. Remember, not a walking downward dog, but a walking, as a dog walking. So the hip stays as much down as possible. Last 3 seconds here. And then also this one is finished. And we go for our jumping variations with one leg. So Last time we need the towel. You fold it in half, you put it down onto the floor. And also here I will tell you to change legs halfway. And you get ready, and then we go. I started with the left leg here because I find the left leg always more challenging, so I do it in the beginning. But some people, they like to eat the nice stuff first. I like to keep the nice stuff to the end. So this is why I start with the left leg, and then I keep the right leg for afterwards, because it's so much easier, and I know I'm done with the veggies. So, and then we change legs, and you go front and back, and suddenly the hopping is so much better because the left leg is up in the air. And keep going. And then also here we are almost done. And bye-bye hopping. So, now 2 more exercises. The hip up and down, and then our skater movement. So this means it's altogether like 2 more minutes of working out. So this is really nothing. So stand feet hip wide outside, and you grab your ankles / knees / thigh, and then 3, 2, 1, go. And then push your hip all the way up and come all the way down. And keep going, pushing your feet into the ground to propel your hip up. Keep holding your ankles. Focus maybe a little bit on the speed for this movement. And then keep coming up and down. And we are halfway through, so there is an end to everything. And up and down, and up and down. Knees in one line with your ankle. And then we have the last 5 seconds of this movement. And the clock is ticking. And khalas. So, last movement. Last movement. Let's see what we can say to the skater, what we haven't said before. So, you want to get ready, stand facing me. And then go from here, crossing right leg between behind left leg, and coming with the same hand on the same side forward. And again, remember, you want to take as much space on this running track as possible, and really go and stretch the other leg back behind you. Your upper body comes to the front, and you want to make speed here. This is not just gliding over the ice. It's not called ice glider. It is ice skater, so we really want to be fast. So keep going and go. And then the end is near to all this suffering. And then we did 40 minutes, now yeah, a little bit less, yeah, 40 minutes of exercise altogether. So 3, 2, 1. And we are done. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you for the next week. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment and a like, and then I will see you next week. Bye bye.
Action. So, well done everyone. Here we are again at the end of our workout. The vacation are close by, so you have prepared well for the holidays. And I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, I am sweating quite a bit again. And I hope you had fun here. If you like what we are doing here at this channel, subscribe to us and leave us a comment and a like. And then I will see you next week. Bye bye.